Hey YouTube family, so I am back with another video for essential food items. This video is going to be the items that you should have in your home in case of an emergency, in case we are in another lockdown situation and we don't have access to grocery stores or just where we can obtain food. So, and then it's been so much talk about a grid down situation where a blackout may happen, or just even if you just have a power outage because of the weather or something like that. You just want to be prepared in those type of times. You never know what you may face until it's right in front of your face, and it's just always good to be prepared. I've been on my journey of preparedness, and I think we all should be preparing. So I made a little list. You guys in the comments that help out with adding things that may not be on my list, I really appreciate you guys coming in the comments and sharing your feedback and helping other people who might come across the comments. So feel free to add what may not be on my list, but I'm just gonna give off some of the list. I'm gonna give a list of things. Like I said, I was doing the last video called emergency preparedness. I felt God was just leading me to do that video because, like I said in that video, a lot of people don't have that mindset that they need to just prepare or have extra stocked items in their home. Not just preparing their homes with physical things, but also their minds, their hearts, But getting your house in order. Just getting your house in order. But this list that I have is just a few things that I'm going to put out that if you haven't thought about, if you're somebody who is just starting the preparedness journey, you might not have thought about these things or these items that could save your life, So number one, I have these are just non-perishable items. At least if they perish, it'll be years before they perish. But some experts and scientists say some of these things they just don't expire, like honey being number one. I think I was reading, I didn't read it, but somebody was telling me about an article where they said these scientists found ancient honey in like tombstones in Egypt, and it was from thousands and thousands of years ago, and the honey was still good. They say if your honey looks like it's bad, just run it under some warm water and it'll bring it back to its consistency. It'll bring it back to life pretty much. But honey never goes bad. And you can use honey for so many different things. So honey is number one. Other non-perishable items, canned goods. Now, I'll talk about the actual canning process when you're canning your own food in a second, but just regular canned food, guys. Literally go get you some canned vegetables. Try to get nutritious foods, like things that are going to keep you healthy in a situation where you don't have fresh vegetables to get to, or fresh fruits to get to. Have some canned fruits and canned vegetables on your shelves. Get y'all some cans of green beans, cans of corn, cans of they got asparagus. I don't know if they got cans of broccoli. I never seen that, I don't think, but they might, and cans of mixed vegetables, cans of carrots, all different types of vegetables. You will be grateful that you have them. If God forbid we can't get to fresh vegetables, get some fresh vegetables. Get some fresh some canned vegetables, and get some canned fruit. if we can't get any fresh fruit, you'll be grateful that you have some canned, what you call fruit cocktails, you know. They got grapes in there, peaches, pears, pineapple. Get some canned fruit, y'all. You will be glad that you have get some canned fruit on your shelf. God forbid we cannot get any fresh fruit. So that is uber duper super important to have some nutritious canned food on your shelves or in your pantry. And a lot of us don't have pantries. Like if you live in an apartment like me where it's limited space, you don't have a house, make your own space, guys. Turn your closet. It's so many of us have closets that is full of stuff we do not need. I ain't gonna say junk, because some people, it's treasure, and maybe your treasure. But if you are just hoarding it and you're not gonna use it, you don't need it, if it's not like heirloom items or just things that are meaningful to you, what was the word I was looking for? Basically just precious to you. If it's not something of that nature, get rid of it. If you're never gonna use it, get rid of it. You don't need it. And it's just taking up space for something that can be beneficial to you if you need it. Once if you're in a situation that you need it, like food, food. I'm gonna do another list of things that you need outside of food. I'll do that in a separate video, but make some space in your closets. Move some stuff around, rearrange things. If you have extra closet space, maybe just make space. Make space in your home. Put stuff under your bed if you don't, have that extra. If you can't get rid of some stuff, make the space, because believe me when I tell you, if you're in a situation where you can't eat, you'll be glad that you got food in your house, as opposed to food and water, as opposed to whatever else it is that that can't save your life. So make space, guys, for storing up non-perishable items in your home that doesn't need refrigeration, because if we don't have any power, God forbid we have a grid down situation where we don't have any power, you can't cook. All the stuff in your refrigerator is gonna go bad. So, make space in your house and put these canned goods, and also rice, guys, and beans. So the way I started storing my rice and beans, you can get cooked canned rice and beans. It's always smart to have your storage of cooked food already that is in a can, just in case you can't cook it, and then also store up, dry rice, dry beans, start stockpiling on those things as well, because if we ever, just like Joseph in the Bible, they didn't have grain. God gave them 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine, and they did not have any grain. There was nothing growing in the land. So, they didn't have rice and beans and things like that, and your barley and your wheat berries and things like that. So as your standard, I was watching people on YouTube, the YouTube community. I've seen a lot of people point to as your standard for stocking up in bulk on stuff like everything. Actually, they have everything. But wheat berries, if you're not familiar, what a wheat berry is where your flour comes from. It's actually like it looks like a little seed. But getting wheat berries to where you can grind up your own flour. If you buy the wheat berries, you can make your own flour, and it stores better as a wheat berry because it lasts a lot longer. You can have wheat berries in Mylar bags for years, 25, 30, forever. So wheat berries is a great way to store up flour. But if you can't get access to it, if you're not able to order wheat berries or, you know, whatever it is you need in bulk, just go to the regular grocery store, Walmart, wherever your local grocery stores are, and just buy the big bags of rice, big bags of beans, and store them where they can't, like little bugs can't get to them. They say you could put them in 5-gallon buckets and just put a lot of bay leaves in there. I bought a vacuum sealer. You can go on Amazon and get a vacuum sealer. It is just a little machine where you buy the plastic bags, and you can put your rice in there, you can put your beans in there, and then you vacuum seal all the air out, so that way nothing can grow inside of it, no bugs can really, you know, get in there. And beans specifically, they say little weevils can, you know, get in your beans and eat up your beans. You don't want nothing eating up your stockpile, you know, your beans, your rice, your flour. Little weevils come in bags of flour. So if you're gonna just buy flour and stock up on flour, some people say you can freeze the flour and it kills it, but if you just put them in a Mylar bag and I guess put an oxygen absorber, that will also take out the air, you know, take out all the oxygen where the bugs, the weevils, the little bugs can't live. So that is another way to do it. And so that's how I do it. And if you don't know what a Mylar bag is, it is just like little silver bags where it keeps out the light. It just keeps the light out. So that's another way to store your flour. Good morning. Your flour and whatever it is you want to store. So flour, rice, beans, stock up on those things. Also, oats. Oats is another thing you want to have in a time where you can't get to them. So you could also put oats into Mylar bags, or you could put them in, you could vacuum seal. You could get you your plastic bags, get a vacuum sealer, vacuum seal all the air out, and store your oats in those as well. I'm gonna give an example on the Mylar bags and the oxygen absorbers that you need to be able to store it and how it's done. I'll do a video on that for those who don't know what that is, or not, you're not familiar with it, you've never seen it before. It's plenty of videos on YouTube that explain that process. That is how I learned. Okay, so oats, powdered eggs, and powdered milk. God forbid we can't get to a store to buy fresh eggs, because you know now with everything going on, eggs, with what they're saying, bird flu, you know, chicken, milk, eggs, all dairy products is becoming very scarce. So get you something on a shelf, some powdered eggs, powdered milk, and be able to have it preserved. It can be preserved for years when you and that's the process of freeze drying. So you have your freeze dried egg mix. You have eggs for years. You have eggs for the future. So this is, let me tell you something. This is $1 million worth of game. Okay, like the podcast. This is $1 million, and this was a famous saying before they podcast, but this is $1 million worth of game. Okay, if you just have it sitting there and you don't need it, great, right? But what if you need it? Some of y'all be like, powdered eggs, ilk, you know, powdered milk, ilk. But God forbid you can't get access to it. You'll just be grateful that you put it to the side and you have it there. You know, you just never know. So, because a lot of, and then I seen a lot of negativity where it's like, okay, well, what, you know, people think that nothing can happen where you would need to have stockpile stuff in your home. And listen, you could do what you want to do. Those of you who are pessimistic and you just think, oh, you know, you don't think this is a good idea. People are just wasting their time doing this. Let people do what they want to do. Let people do what they feel led to do. And you do what you want to do. Okay? Everybody don't have to do the same thing. But those of us who are using wisdom, who pray, and who, know, maybe not the whole Bible, but know a little something. Let us do what we do. Let us prepare for a time, even though God tells us we don't need to worry about food and we don't need to do none of that, and which I don't, because say we may run out of what we have. It's just still good to have stuff stored up. It's just still good. It's still a wise decision to have some stuff stored up. So get you some powdered eggs and some powdered milk, especially if you are a baker and, we still may be able to cook. We may have power, but we can't get to a grocery store. We are in a lockdown, and you can still, use your stove and, bake you up something. Everything nowadays takes eggs and milk to cook with. So powdered eggs, powdered milk. Peanut butter. Peanut butter is a great protein. Peanut butter lasts for years. You know how you have a can, you get you a jar of peanut butter and it just used to sit in the cabinet for a year or two, and then you go to, get you some peanut butter after a year or two of it sitting there and it still be good. Some people have peanut butter for 5 years, some unopened, and they open it up and they say it tastes good. I don't know about that, but I hear it's and then let me tell you something. If I had to use my peanut butter that I had stored up unopened in 5 years, however many years later, guess what? And I don't have any other options. I'm gonna eat that peanut butter. Okay. Especially I could bake me up some bread or some crackers, whatever. Put some peanut butter up there. That is a great snack. That's why it's also good to learn how to cook from scratch, bake bread. How to bake bread, how to make your own crackers, how to make things on your own instead of depending on store-bought food. I'll do a video on like baking bread and stuff like that. But peanut butter, get you some pasta noodles, store them up in some Mylar bags or vacuum seal it in some, or you can put them in jars. I forgot to mention that. You can use jars as well to store your, dry rice, beans, or dry pasta, and store them in mason jars and vacuum seal the air out of those as well. That's another way to store it. Did I mention oodles and noodles? I don't even know if I even put that on here, but it surely just came to my mind. Oodles and noodles, the ramen noodles. You cannot go wrong with some ramen noodles, okay? They never expire. Well, maybe they do. I don't know if they expire. I'm sure everything expires eventually, but you can still eat some very old, couple-year-old ramen noodles and it probably still tastes good. Especially if you're hungry and you don't have anything else to eat, you will eat the noodles. So store up some ramen noodles. You can put how I did some of mine is I put them in buckets and then just airtight, seal them up airtight. Ramen noodles, canned sauce in case you want to make some spaghetti. As you have you could get you some canned meat. You got your noodles. You got some sauce. You can put a meal together. So some canned sauce, maple syrup. Maple syrup, just as well as honey, it does not expire. So you can have maple syrup and honey on your shelf for years and it'll still be good when you go to use it. So definitely those items. Extra seasoning, extra salt. Have some Himalayan salt or some Redmond salt. That is just a better version of salt. Those are salt with minerals. Real salt. It's called Redmond's or pink Himalayan salt. It's real salt. It's salt with minerals instead of the iodized where it's just like chemical salt. I use that too now. Don't get me wrong, but I use a lot of my Himalayan salt as well for cooking my foods. But just extra seasoning salt, whatever it is, because God forbid, like I said, you can't get to no grocery store, or the grocery stores are empty, just like how they did when, a time ago that we just had, and you couldn't find anything on the shelves and everybody was clearing stuff out. You don't want your food tasting like the bottom of a shoe. So get some seasoning so you put some little flavor in your food, and the event we still able to cook. We may not be able to go out and buy food, but we'll be able to cook in our homes. This is in case, we just maybe have a shutdown or something, a lockdown, and who knows how long we will be locked down and we still have power. You still can cook. So this is in case of just a shutdown, in the house, can't go nowhere, or a grid down where there's no power, can't go nowhere, can't buy nothing from nowhere, and you don't have no power. So you got your canned food, so that's already cooked. Just crack that open, maybe get some heat to. I'll explain what you could do to heat up or warm up your food as well. But those are options, and maseka, like cornmeal. You can make a lot of things with cornmeal. You want to have sugar, so flour, sugar, cornmeal, things that you can make a meal from. You can make the meal from scratch. You got to learn how to cook. We're going to get to that part. You got to learn how to whip something up in the kitchen, something quick, easy. So storing those in ways where the bugs can't get to it, and it'll last forever, or last a really long time. And then freeze dried little packaged meals, like already packaged up. So I've seen some stuff on Amazon where they have freeze dried, just little packs in a bag, like little freeze dried meals already ready for you to just pour the hot water and then just let it sit for 10-15 minutes to become a whole meal again. I would even get some of those just in case. Just have different varieties of options of a way to eat for at least 2 weeks, at least 3 weeks if you wise. Now, you don't got to go crazy going a whole year of having stuff, because some of us don't have a room to stockpile for a year, but at least a couple of months, a couple of weeks, and just trust God. So, but freeze dried little meals, and those are kind of expensive, and they kind of not crazily expensive, but they're a little pricey. But yeah, so freeze dried meals, if you just go on Amazon and look up freeze dried foods, like you'll see a list of different kinds of freeze dried foods that come in buckets. Some of them, you don't have to get the 12 packs or whatever, or the 10 packs. You can get just like a 6-pack in a box, however it goes. But freeze dried meals are another good option. Now, a way to cook this food, if we still have power and if we don't have any power and you're able to just, cook up something, and you need to cook up something without power, a way to do this, or just warm up a meal that you have in a can. You can get the canned heat, like those little Sternos. Get y'all some canned heats in the stockpile too. Okay, get some canned heat. They have these little stoves, these little tiny stoves. They are called like camping stoves. Or you look up Sterno, they have like the little stoves that the Sternos go in, and you get maybe 1 or 2 of those, so you could set a pot up there, put that canned heat under there. Telling you, get the mixer like. Listen, you gotta improvise. Okay, you don't have a stove, you improvise. You use another alternative. So canned heat is a great idea to have, to warm up your food, your canned goods. or what you process in your own canning, your own canning that you did. I'll explain that in a second. So let me just do that now. Canning is just a process of you doing the process of, you know, what you see in a regular can on the shelf, you're just doing it yourself. And that's what canning is. You pressure can, you put it in the jars, you gotta debubble it, you put the lids on, make sure everything is sterilized, you know, put the ring on there, you put it in a pressure canner with a little bit of water, and it goes through a steaming process where it's killing all the botulism inside that can grow in the jars, so that it preserves it. It lasts on a shelf for years. So that's all the canning process is. It's just you canning, is you doing the meals that you want to do on your own, and you're making your own can, but it's in a jar. That's really what it is. And I started canning about a year ago. And it's great because if you want some kind of specific kind of food or a specific kind of meal that they may not have in the stores, you can make your own, and you also know what's in it. So that's another great thing about doing your own canning and learning how to can. You have your own meals, you know what's in it, because with all the preservatives and all the stuff that GMOs that they got going on now that's giving us cancer and poisoning us and all kinds of stuff, we want to, you know what we're eating, know what we're putting in our bodies. So canning your own food is wise. I do a little bit of rebel canning because I kind of put my own. That's a rebel canning is like basically when you kind of go outside of the guidelines of when they have the guideline of canning. And I, do the right process of actually canning it, but like the stuff that I put in there, I just kind of make my own meal and put it in there and just pray, Lord, keep it good to eat. But, and then when you lose a seal, because some of my seals came off, but it was because I wasn't using the good. I got those lids from Temu. Don't buy no lids from Temu, okay? Don't do that. Get you some ball jars or ball lids, or what's another good one that they say? For canning lids or something like that. But get a good lid so that that lid stay on there, because I was hurt about my lids coming up. After a couple of months, I went to check some of my jars and the lids did kind of, and never reuse the lid, because I think probably those was some of the lids that I might have reused because it didn't seal, and then I tried to use it again. Never do that. But then I just thought, like, Lord, you just didn't want me to eat that. So that's probably, you was saving me. I understand. So, but just follow the guidelines, just follow the rules if you're going to start pressure canning, because it's dangerous to not. You can poison your family, you get botulism or whatever the case, or, you didn't do something right. It could, but you'll know. So they say if, no, that's actually not true. You won't know if you have botulism inside the jar. You can't smell it, you can't see it. So you really wouldn't know. But just pray over everything. That's just another good thing to do. Plead the blood of Jesus over everything you eat. And if you don't know Jesus, it's never too late to get to know him. It's never too late to get a relationship with him. He is amazing. He is wonderful. He will change your life, turn your life completely around. And he said you can eat poison and it will not hurt you. Okay, that's what the good books say, and I believe the word. Okay, but anyway, I digress. Get back on to this. And then some people have outside grills where you can go outside and you can get you some charcoal, have some charcoal in your storage somewhere, put some stuff on a grill, be able to have some lighting fluid, charcoal, and something to get your fire going. Put your food on a grill, get a fire going that way so you can heat up or cook your food in a way. They have so many unconventional ways to cook with charcoal or outside. There's many YouTube videos. You can, you know, outside cooking, you can just put in anything, and they have examples of how you can make even bread outside or in a Dutch oven and put it on some fire or some heat and cook you up some bread or cook you up whatever it is. You know, many different things to just survive, to just keep from starving. You have also the propane stoves. So that is another option where you can put the propane in there, and it gives you, you know, the gas to be able to cook on a propane stove. You can look that up on Amazon, and it'll show you what if you don't know what a propane stove is or how it looks, you can go on Amazon and get one. It's just dangerous to use if you don't really know about how to work with that kind of stuff, because I was reading up on it, and it's just so many things that could go wrong if you don't do something right, or you don't store it correctly, or it's a risk. But you just got to be careful. You got to follow the instructions. Just follow instructions. But yeah, propane stoves are another good thing to have in your storage in case we don't have any power and you need to cook your food or heat your food up, warm it up. So, and another good idea is like having a portable charging bank, where if you have like a electric stove, you can have those portable power banks, and you can plug in your electric stove into the power bank, and, you know, use an electric stove, electric skillet, electric, you know, something to cook up your food as well. So it's good to have like an electric skillet or like a crock pot, something where you can make bread in a crock pot. Yes, you can. So a little crock pot or something where you could plug it in. And this is if we don't have any power. You plug it in there and use your power station. The only thing about the power station is once it dies, we don't have any power, so there's no way to charge it back up. So having a portable solar panel is another good thing to have with your power station. If you choose to go that route, just have different options, because God forbid we don't get any sun, then you can't use your solar panel to charge up your power bank. So have many different options, people. Have different options. That's why I'm giving a list of just different options, you know, to use. It's about a list of 10. This is probably about 15. So we'll call it 15 essential items. So yes, if you thought of something that I did not put on this list, I have another video to do where I'm gonna add, it's gonna be outside of food, but another more essential items to have in your stockpile, in your storage, for a time when you may not know if you'll ever need it or not. But if you did, you will be grateful that you have it in your storage. So I'll do another video on that outside of food. But this is just the types of food that you want to have in your storage. Those are the types of things, 15 essential food items that you may need. So thank you guys for coming and listening to me. And I pray for all of you. I pray we never have a situation like this where we don't have any other options, but God forbid, you know, and the times we living in, I feel in my spirit that we coming into some times. So just be prepared, preparing your hearts, preparing your minds, most importantly, but also preparing your home, getting your home in order, whatever that may mean to you. And, you know, prepare. Add your comments, you know, of what could also, you know, be added, because some of y'all had a lot of good, you know, other great things that y'all had on the other video. But just get prepared, guys. Get prepared. I love you all. God bless. You can like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. I'm trying to grow my YouTube, so, you know, show me some love. And I wish you all the best. Praying for every one of us. And if you don't know Jesus, get to know Jesus Christ. He's the best. Love y'all. Have a good day.